Just kidding. What's up, everyone? This is Jason Tucker, and this is WPwatercooler's WPblab. Man, we're going to be talking about something that both Bridget and I do a lot of, but Bridget is the master at. She is a PhD at Twittering and Facebooking and social mediaing and all that fun stuff. So tonight we're going to be talking about social media tips for WordPress website owners, just like you. So if you're watching this show, you're probably a WordPress website owner, or you're a developer, a designer, or somebody who just writes about your cat on your cat blog. And we love cat blogs around here. So make sure you hang out here and chat in the chat room. If you go on the right-hand side of the screen, folks that are watching this live, if you go over on the right-hand side, there will be a chat. You can feel free to go in there and ask us questions. You do that by typing in /Q, then push space, and then your question, and then we'll answer those questions. Unfortunately, we have like 1.5 zillion questions from Adam that we need to answer, so we'll make sure we knock those out, and then we'll finally get around to answering your questions in about 3 hours from now. So there we have it. Just kidding. The other thing here is if you're interested in participating in this chat in both audio and video, you can click on the hot seat there and jump in. We're looking for other people to hop in. I mean, we'll get our regulars and stuff to hop in a little while later. But if you're new to this and you've seen this show and you love it and you want to get, ask us some questions or just chat for a few minutes, feel free to click on that and make that happen.
We won't fight.
Yep.
You just need headphones and a light.
Yep, that's it. You just need a light like this, one of these. Woohoo!
No, I mean, like sometimes people are in their dark rooms. They say, "Let me get my headphones and turn on the light."
Exactly. Yeah, do all that stuff, and then be like, "Okay, make it happen." Yeah, a microphone usually works too. You can just it wouldn't. We're not very good at reading mouths, so there you have it. So I'm here with my good friend Bridget Willard. Bridget, how's it going?
It's ridiculously hot here. I don't care what it is in the South. But Dana Point, it's 88 degrees and 74% humidity. And I don't have AC. I have one in my room, but it would have been like this. So here I am, sweating because I love the WordPress community.
I have 2 fans, one in the window and one in front of the fan in front of the window, blowing air on me.
A little joke menopause fan that my mom gave me, and I'm using it because it'll blow something and I'll take it.
Oh, man.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Man. August and July suck here. That's all I have to say. Come on, October. Come on, October.
Yep. Oh, man. I'm Jason Tucker. You can find me over at Jason Tucker on Twitter. I do a whole bunch of stuff over there. I also host a couple shows on WP Watercooler's network. If you go over to WPwatercooler.com, you can click on the links there to check it all out. There's a menu item up on the very top there. If you check out shows, there's a list of all the shows there. So feel free to check those out. I'd appreciate it. WP Watercooler's show itself is recorded on Mondays. So go check those out and find out what the local listing time is for you, since there's these things called time zones, and apparently you have to deal with that. So that's it. So we're going to be talking about social media. In social media, I'm hoping, and I'd imagine you know about social media, because in order to participate in Blab, for whatever reason, you have to actually go through a social media paywall, if you will, of logging in and being able to interact with us. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to try something new. We're gonna do something on social media. What I want you to do is go on the far left-hand side of the screen there where it says the topic for tonight, and down below it is a social media button. Feel free to click that whenever you like, and tell people about the show and have them check it out. I'd appreciate that. So do that. So let's see here. Where do we begin with social media, Bridget? Like you've written like 9,000 posts about this thing. So
I have, but the one, and I finally put this on my Beaver Builder homepage, Twitter lists. Okay. Number one organizational tool for Twitter is Twitter lists, to optimize listening, to optimize how much time you spend there, I mean, there's so many reasons. I wrote about it. I did a video with Adam Found about it. I think it's the most underutilized tool. And I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, I did. For 30 minutes, you could see the video. I think it's on that blog post about all of the reasons why I should be using a Twitter list.
So
and I've used lists on Facebook too, but I think Twitter is really the best one for that. But
so what isn't the advantage of a Twitter list? Says eBoy.
Okay, so succinctly, the reason why you use Twitter lists is to filter out your stream. So if all I care about are my people in Orange County and they're on a Twitter list, then I look at that column in Hootsuite. I don't care. I don't care who's tweeting about the election. I don't care who's clogging up my feed. I don't care what everybody else is tweeting. I don't care how many times Jason promotes WPwatercooler. It's not affecting me. I'm in this list. These are the only people I want to see right now. If they are brick and mortar, like when I was at the contractor, guess who our favorite people were? Clients. And then you share their things. You stay top of the mind. The next group of people that were our favorite were real estate developers and commercial real estate brokers. So you share their things, and guess what? Then they refer work to you, and then back the way it goes. So the same reasons why you would be involved in a networking group or a meetup is so you can have these online relationships. And it's funny because you can be friends with people. Imagine that, like the craziness of being a friend. But Twitter totally changed my life. So I swear I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about it. But the thing is, if you're a company and you have something to sell, whether it's a product or a service, you want to support your customers and listen to what your customers have to say. So you can create audience personas all day long, but you don't know if they're even true until you hear what they're saying. And the most amazing part about Twitter is people are talking all day long.
Totally true.
About whatever is on their mind. You could not pay enough for a social media, for a focus group to find out what your customers are saying. It's all there. You know who's watching Game of Thrones. You know who likes Starbucks. You know who goes to the farmer's market. You know who's at Comic-Con. You know who's going to what WordCamp where. Yep. You know everything that they are willing to tell you. And it's amazing to see how much they're willing to. So if you're a content creator, which I assume most of us are since we love WordPress and that's the place for content, pressing the words, yep. Right? What should you write about? What are your customers asking about? What are their pain points? What are their problems? So-and-so is asking what's the best form to use. You could do a whole blog post on Ninja forms or Caldera forms or, I couldn't, but you right. could. And you know what I'm saying? So if you're stuck, like sometimes Matt will say, wow, how did you know that? Or wow, how did you know that? Or how did you know? Because I'm reading Twitter, and it doesn't even take that much time. The other thing I like about Twitter lists is I could hop on my list on my phone because I use Hootsuite, so it's the same desktop or mobile. Yeah. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm stuck in the line at Starbucks. Epic line today. Epic line. Twitter, because Twitter's something you could pick up and put down.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's a very low commitment. This is the other thing that people don't seem to understand about. It's not like, oh no, I'm in the middle of this 2,800 word blog post. It doesn't matter. Just you read it, then you move on. And
these Twitter lists, because we've had a couple questions in here. So a Twitter list is you're curating a list of people that you want to look at that moment. So when you click on that Twitter list and you're looking at it, and mind you, Bridget has 86 Twitter lists, and I put a link in the chat, so feel free to go check that out. Yeah, you have 86 Twitter lists.
Do
So what ends up happening is when she goes in here, she wants to follow all the people that are in buffer chat. Well, she just goes and clicks on it, and all 215 of those people will show up in the list of all the people that are. It's like a filter, but you're filtering regardless if you're following them or not. Because you can actually put somebody on a list and not follow them, yet still see all their stuff. So if you in this day and age now, if you have like a boyfriend or a girlfriend or something, and you wanted to have a collection of all the ex-boyfriends and girlfriends, you could throw all of them in there. Now, I wouldn't recommend this unless you turn it into private. But
I would.
Right.
Well, it better be private. That's a good distinction.
So when you do that, you can now see all your ex-boyfriends or all your ex-girlfriends or whatever all in there, and be able to still see all the stuff that's going on with them, yet be able to make it so that you don't have to actually follow them. So that's kind of neat. I'll tell you one thing that I do for WordCamps. So if a particular WordCamp that I'm attending has turned on the ability for you to be able to see a list of all of the people that are attending the WordCamp, but have also listed all of their Twitter handles, with a little bit of command line magic, some grepping, and some regular expression, I can build out a quick little list of all the people, and then take all that and throw it into a Twitter list.
Shut up! I do all that manually.
I don't get paid to do this stuff. I just knock it out and be done with it.
I know, but I do it for like WordCamp LA, and I'm going through everybody's gravatars, going, for the love of God and all that's holy.
So this right here from WordCamp San Diego 2015. So WordCamp San Diego 2015, I wanted to get a list of it. I went in there real quick and grabbed all the content I needed and dropped them in there, and I was good to go. That's it.
So, my email address.
You need to learn how to use command line.
See, this is why this is good, because it's the organic meets the scripted, right? But it's not one or the other.
Another one that I do is I have.
But that's a good point. Don't let me forget that, because other people make lists. You don't
totally
need to
don't.
do
You
the
can
work
actually
twice.
subscribe to a public list. So if there's a list that somebody's involved in, like for instance, I have this one, right? So there's a list called WPwatercooler's past guests. That's a list that just automatically gets generated. You come on WPwatercooler and be on the show, you instantly show up on that list. I don't have to do anything. It just automatically happens. So there's those sorts of things where I just want to be able to track, who's doing what and where, and have I interacted with them or not. And like if you have shared our stuff over and over and over again for Watercooler, I build a list that has a list of all the people that have ever shared anything. So yeah, you can do some cool things. If you're a programmer, have at it. If not, there's probably some website you could pay, $30 a shot to have them do it for you.
Yeah. Okay. Just don't be too bawdy. You need to program, but not look like you're programming. That's the trick. I think that's what
I mean, right, I have a list of 9,000 people.
Like people that mention me. No. People that mention me. Yeah. That's the stupidest list ever. Because so people do get notified that when you put them on a list. So keep that in mind when you make your list. Okay, you don't want to say these people need to learn JavaScript, right? That would be mean.
I do have this one though.
But
it's a list of all the people that have nice hair in the WordPress community.
And it's only Rachel Cardin and Alex Vasquez. So anyway, you could do it like that as a joke. You could do a super fans, WordPress speakers. You could do things that will kind of pat people on the back a little. But to me, as a social media manager, and for business owners that don't have a bunch of time to do this but want to optimize their experience, the list is a filter. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. So what you do is you pair the Twitter list with a service like Hootsuite. You can use TweetDeck, but I don't like it anymore. So Sprout Socials, costs. I prefer Hootsuite.
Yep.
So that's my.
They also tell you how many times you've been listed as well. So if you wanted to kind of get an idea of, are you a popular person that gets listed? you can definitely look at that and get an idea of how many times you've been listed.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is cool. So we've talked a lot about Twitter itself and has nothing to do with WordPress at this point. So, I mean, it does have to do with WordPress. But
unless you're interacting with your peers.
What about WordPress itself and having it interact with Twitter? What are some of the solutions that you've looked at that do that sort of thing?
I'm not a big fan of automation. This is where you and I are like yin and yang. Because it can go wrong. Okay? It can go very wrong. But a lot of people like CoSchedule, which will automatically put your stuff out. I personally don't recommend posting everything to everywhere simultaneously. Nope. I think you should spread it out. The only reason why that's effective, I only do that with time-specific things like events. But you really want to stretch it out, because what happens if they see you on LinkedIn, Google+, Twitter, and Facebook, and you put that blog post there at all the same time, they're going to unfollow you. Instead, if you kind of post, because CoSchedule will let you do that, you can put it wherever you want at whatever schedule you want. But just keep in mind that Twitter is the platform that tolerates volume and repetition. It's the only one that tolerates volume and repetition.
I hate getting those messages from my mom saying, okay, I understand you're doing the WordPress thing, but can you stop posting it? Because I only follow 6 people, and you're one of them, and you're annoying.
All my friends there are like, it looks like you're doing really cool stuff. I don't know what it is.
I love it.
Let's say I don't either. But so CoSchedule is a good one. My personal favorite is Revival Post. And I settled on anything older than 30 days, 7.5 hour rotation. But you can exclude categories and tags. But here's the thing that Jason Tucker found out. The free version of Revival Post does not work on custom post types.
Yep.
So that's going to be a bummer for you and Russ and people who are custom post type people. But you'll have to pay. So that's a downside. Obviously, Yoast optimizes how your posts look when they're shared on social. As long as you're using a featured image and you're filling out the meta description, then it's going to optimize how it appears on Pinterest, Google+, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So you definitely want to I would say use Yoast, even if you don't care about the readability score. It's free. There's no reason to not use it. Because the worst thing, and I'm not sure why WordCamps are like this. They seem to be the biggest offenders, no offense. But every time they post something, it's just this generic turquoise background with the W. Every single post, and guess what happens? It doesn't look new. You don't have a featured image.
The cobbler's kids don't have shoes. That's the problem.
You need to have featured images. So social media posts, how they look, it's really driven by that featured image. So I actually just wrote about my 5 favorite plugins on WordPress. For this exact reason, I seem to be naming them. I didn't intend to do it that, but so ImageInject is my favorite.
Okay.
So ImageInject will search for Creative Commons on Pixabay and Flickr, and you can insert it inside of the content, or you can choose it to be a featured image. And what it will do is it will add the attribution at the end.
And this stuff's good because it's going to get social shared somehow. Either you manually doing it, you automatically doing it using some other plugin, or using some other tool, or your visitors who like your content will be sharing it as well. So yeah, you should definitely have a featured image. And if you don't have a featured image, pull your phone out and take one real quick, or use something like WPinject that's going to help you do that, at least a little bit of it.
And I learned that not all themes support featured images.
That's true. Not all of them do.
That makes zero sense to me, but that's okay.
It's actually an option that you can specify in your functions.php file whether or not there's a featured image.
Okay, functions.php. Hello, every theme developer, featured image should be default. Okay, love Bridget. So that's, and I use Master like you do. So there's a lot of plugins for people either to share your content, or so it's optimized while you're there, or so that you can automatically share it. And then, so I might as well just finish out my list, which I put in the show notes. Postmatic. Okay, so I got in when it was still $9, but I am in love with Postmatic. It's commenting software, and so what it does is it does a couple things that I really like. First of all, the comments are beautiful. I mean, I love you, WordPress, but the comments don't look very pretty. Just saying. Like you got this theme, and the theme is beautiful, and the comments look like crap. But the second thing is, as the admin of the site, you get the comment in your email, which I actually happen to love email, and I use it well. So I live my life on email. Email is my asana. So then I just reply, and then it posts. All I have to do is reply, and all they have to do is reply. And this is the other thing it does. It sends them a beautiful version of my email, the whole thing of my blog post in an email, formatted, and all they have to do is reply to comments. So they don't have to log in. They don't have to create a username. They don't have to do that whole. Okay, so John Locke and I are like challenging each other to write comments once a day. We kind of ended up butting up over a couple of tweets. See what happens when you tweet with people? You make friends, and then you level up your skills. Imagine that. So I said, I was so frustrated today because 2 or 3 times today when I commented, it didn't say your comments awaiting moderation. It just wasn't there.
Huh.
And then I'd written this well thought out comment, and it was just gone.
Weird.
It's like, that sucks. But so anyway, Postmatic, what they do is so they will deliver your blog post to them. It almost eliminates the need for MailChimp. I am not sending out emails anymore because people are subscribing to my blog, and then they're getting them in the email. People are sharing because it comes in their email so beautiful, like it looks beautiful. They're sharing it before I do. I'm seeing it because in my Hootsuite, I have a search column for BridgetWillard.com. Because a lot of times people don't share correctly with attribution. So that's the other thing. Make sure you do is whatever social sharing things you have, Yoast or whatever, make sure you put your Twitter handle in there so that when they do press tweet on your blog,
via your name,
it will say via your handle, and then make sure it's right still because you might have changed it. Just do a little maintenance and make sure that's all the same. So I love Postmatic. I love it. That Jason guy, that Jason Levio is smart. And it just looks so beautiful. And actually, they have all these different versions now where you can sign up to send your people digest emails and excerpt emails. And it's giving MailChimp a run for their money, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so if you make it easy, my point is if you make it easy for people to comment, are they going to be more likely to comment?
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, today I was like, I just wrote all these comments and it doesn't say anything. I don't even know where my comment went. Do you think I'm going to comment on their blogs again?
Right.
Maybe not. Like, it's just too frustrating.
Because you went you went kind of instant gratification from you posting your comment to their site.
I want to feel like it worked. So even if it says your comments awaiting moderation, I know I did something. I hit the form, and something happened, and you got this, well-composed comment that's adding value to your blog post, or whatever. I didn't just say, "Oh, good read."
Yeah.
Because I know nobody likes you doing that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, anyway, I love Postmatic. So I know that Adam Thompson was asking, who are the people I believe speak gospel truth in social media? It's going to be Gary Vaynerchuk, Ted Rubin, and who was the third person? A Copyblogger. Those are the three people that I am heavily influenced by, besides my own intuition and brilliance and experience. I've been doing Twitter since 2007. I've been doing social media marketing since 2009. So, yeah, Brian Clark's a smart guy. So, but Gary Vaynerchuk, he's the one that's all into Snapchat. I mean, that was the first reason why I installed it in the first place. Yep. So that seems to be the next trend, just as a segue. Like LA is going to have a geo filter. It seems like more WordCamps are having geo filters for Snapchat. So I don't know if people are using it, but that's really your thing.
Yeah.
Did we have any preguntas? Any more preguntas?
Let's see what else we got here.
Oh, like Paul uses Buffer.
Yeah.
I do like Buffer. I love Buffer in general. I just love them. But I use something called I use a beta thing called Minideck.co.
It's still in beta. That thing's been in beta since like November. What's going on with these people?
They're just working on other stuff. But if you tweet me, I'll just tweet Lucas and he'll give you an invite. But I use Minideck and I love it because I like the bar at the top that just says schedule a tweet, and it automatically schedules for me based upon the optimal time for that account. And I have like 7 accounts on Minideck. But Buffer, I do love Buffer. I would use Buffer if I wasn't already using this, which came from Timely. They were the people from Timely. And so, yeah, Buffer is great. Buffer now supports Instagram. And
kind of.
So, okay, so here's the other thing you have to know about.
It supports Instagram as a timer to tell you to do something. I could say, okay, hey, Siri, remind me to, and then she'll just, oh, don't you do it, don't you do it, don't you do it.
Like, here's the thing. I really believe that you should respect the platform.
Yeah.
A platform is like a culture, and if you don't fit into the culture, you stand out, and then you're going 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. So, like, think about the WordPress culture and how generous everybody is. What if somebody came to a WordCamp and they're just passing business cards out left and right and being all car salesman-y?
Right.
What would you guys think of that? You'd be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't usually.
So
yeah, business cards are weird.
It would just but that kind of activity that's totally normal at like a BNI,
right,
or another kind of traditional, it's just not accepted in our culture, right? So Twitter has a culture, Facebook has a culture. Facebook is you eating dinner at your parents' house, and all of you guys have forgotten it, and that's why you're talking about politics. Because it doesn't belong there. It belongs on Twitter, where people rip their heads off. So, like, Twitter, Facebook is having dinner with your friends. So think about things that are polite to discuss at the dinner table. That's my trick for you. And then Instagram. This is the one thing that people don't get about Instagram. It is a violation of their terms of service for you to post anything other than original content. Original content is something that you created, ideally with your phone and your camera. So that would rule out memes. Memes do not belong on Instagram. They not only are a violation of the terms of service, they go against the culture of Instagram. Instagram is about selfies and nature and your dog and kind of the DVD extras. Like for a company, it would be like DVD extras, like whatever WordPress gives me their Instagram, go ahead. It's like a picture of Matt and Devin with all of their computer setups, or like some really arty picture of the green and orange, and you know how the coding text is black and there's like orange and green and pink.
Right.
Like that just looks so cool, like a picture of that. Or you know, like here we are at lunch, or this is a cool building. You know, that's Instagram. And so because you're supposed to do original content, you are not allowed to regram no matter how many apps are there. This is what happened to me recently. And I didn't say anything about this certain tech conference, but it was, to me, it's humiliating when a tech conference doesn't understand this. So not only did they regram a picture of me and Jen Miller, but it auto-posted to their Facebook page. So they stole my picture.
Dun, dun, dun.
If I were a more menacing person, I could easily sue them and win. So the thing is, like, first of all, it's just like, that's not cool. And it's not about credit. It's about what's right and what's acceptable, because you can offend somebody without breaking the law. So that's the thing about culture. You really need the situational awareness. And that's why when I didn't understand Snapchat, I asked you, then I asked my friend Amy, and I asked my friend Kyle. I go, I don't understand. How does this work? How do you talk to people? And so he told me, he goes, I send you a video, and then you swipe right on it, and then you press the thing, you send me a video. Because what I didn't understand was everything else is threaded, and it's not threaded. It's like playing cards.
Right.
I make something, and then you make something, and then I make something, and then you make something. And whether or not you share with everybody else is, you can do that too. But so I got, like, I understood, like, I could make a snap, and then somebody could see it for 24 hours, but I didn't understand how you talk to people. And it took about 4 conversations because I didn't understand the culture. To succeed at a social media platform, remember, this is social media, which means people are on it.
Right.
So that means you have sociology involved, which means you have to understand the culture.
Yep. Well, Paul in the chat's asking about Instagram. We might as well answer this one about Instagram. So how do you make money, or how do you, how would a business use Instagram to promote their stuff? I have a friend who he has like a small clothing line that he does for kids, and he has kids. And so the easiest way to get kids to be photographed is to be the one who owns the kids. So he doesn't have to worry about anybody clearing anything with anybody because it's his own kids. So what he does is he has his kids wear his clothes, the little kids' clothes, and goes and plays. Just go play. Go get them all dirty. Go do whatever it is you got to do, and takes pictures of them. Then what he'll do is he'll put on, like, either embedded in the actual photograph itself, or he'll put in the comments saying, because since Instagram doesn't let you put in any type of links or anything within an Instagram photo, what he'll say is go to the bio of my account and click on the link there to go and buy the product that I have. Here's all the photos that I took today. And then on that page, here's the, some type of way of organizing all the photos. Here's all the photos that I took today, and here's all of the things that you could buy from me in my shop. So that's the way that most of the people do this. So people that do buy things off of Instagram, and there's a lot of people that buy things off of Instagram, this is the way that they do it, and they're familiar enough with that. Kind of hoop jumping they have to go through in order to actually go and buy the thing from you. So that's the only way to do it, other than to actually buy an advertisement and run the advertisement on Instagram.
Right. And there's a plugin that I like called Instagram Feed. And you can pull in your photos or anybody else's accounts. So I put a link to the plugin in the repo and the page I built to show this off. And so like I said, too, to show your culture and to get people to feel like they know you, because remember, businesses are built on relationships.
Yep.
That's not anything that's ever going to change. So if a potential, like if I want to check somebody out and I see, oh, look, like those people look like they're having fun doing their thing. Like I have some Instagrammers on here. Like WordCamp Atlanta is really good at Instagram. Aaron Hockley is really good at Instagram. Yep. You know, Jeff Zinn is really good at Instagram. Sarah Pressler is really good at Instagram. But Buffer is another good one that shows like you're showing the culture. So like so Buffer does that to kind of as a way to recruit employees. So that's another way to do it. Like, this is the life you get. Everybody gets a week to use their Buffer account. Every employee gets a week to be the person who's in control of it.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool because then you see all the people because they're fully distributed, like Automatic. Buffer and Automatic are fully distributed companies. So they're very similar that way, and they have retreats. They're very similar the way they run, except for Buffer is transparent. 100% transparent. I know that Automatic's very similar. So for us, that's a good company that's outside of us that's similar. And so, but also like you sort of get to know people. Yeah. You know, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's your dog Lincoln. And then you feel like, I could trust this person. And then for the freelancer or the agency, the people, if they feel comfortable with you, they're more likely to hire you. Yep. It's just that simple. It really is. It's not magic. It's just showing you who you are. You're showing them who you are. So Instagram. So Instagram does not currently allow you to have links that click in the comments, but the advertisements do, and you can have a link in your bio, which people say link in my bio. But it is a good way to show your humanity. And like the other day when I was at the WordPress meetup, I was helping Jason Tucker take notes, and so I go, "Oh, look, I'm taking notes." So that's how I think of it. It's like the things, the behind the scenes things that I don't share, and I don't share. You're only going to see my Instagram on Instagram or on my website. Yeah. Because I do not cross promote them at all. So I give you something extra. You're my friend on Instagram. You're going to see something nobody else is seeing. Yeah. So that exclusivity, if you use it that way, that incentivizes people to be on your feed. But it's very, very good for any apparel industry. See, we're in the services industry, so it's a little trickier. So, actual pieces of merchandise is easier, right? Right. But for us, it's about relationships. So you want to present the side of you that's friendly, and people want to go, oh, hey, I saw your dog on Instagram. It's so cute. Or, hey, that looked like a really good paella that you ate the other day. Or, I saw that you surfed in Costa Rica. Do you have a place to recommend? Then you have a point to start a conversation, and then you can continue that relationship. And, oh, yeah, I know somebody who builds websites. Yeah, right. That's how referrals work. Yeah. I mean, it's just never going to change. That's how if you wanted to sell something on Instagram that is in, let's say, a WooCommerce store, the way that I would approach that is by, and I was just answering one of the questions that was in the chat, is the way that I would approach that is make a tag called Instagram. Or as seen on Instagram, or get a little creative if you want. But what you would do is take that and put it onto take a couple of those things of somebody wearing the item or using the item or whatever in the item, and then say, feel free to take a look at this thing, and if you want to buy it, go into my into my bio thing, click on the link there, and it'll be there.
Now, what's neat about that is that thing is now universal and will constantly be updated, because if you're using a tag in WordPress, a tag is dynamic. It's constantly being updated as you add more things to that tag. So that's the way that I would approach selling something on Instagram, is just have the place where someone can always find the things that you are selling on Instagram in your bio and not have to change that at all. And then just promote the heck out of that stuff on Instagram, saying, hey, here's the thing that you should check out. This is the coolest thing ever, blah, 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 blah. That's the way I would go about it.
Yep.
Trying to think here. So I shared a few links in, I shared a few links for some people that are from my church and have previously worked at my church. In the chat, Paul was asking about people that are doing great on Instagram for churches. Feel free to go take a look at those. Those are a couple of people. One of our past pastors. Oh my goodness!
Say that 5 times fast.
And then our director of like a design director, he posted some stuff on there. So feel free to go check those out.
I'll tell you what not to do. Try to make a flyer on that. It doesn't zoom, people.
No,
it does not zoom.
But
it does not.
It does not zoom. But what it can do is you can actually use in Instagram. There's an app called Boomerang that's part of Instagram. You could actually install that and use that to do kind of special effects with the photo or with the video that you're doing. So use that. I mean, I've seen them where like somebody's sweeping and the thing just looks like they're sweeping nonstop because it's just automatically replaying over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So you can do those kinds of fun things, and definitely go check those out. So let's pick up the car off of this track of Instagram and let's switch over to something like Facebook. How about that?
Sure.
So Facebook, you can do some pretty interesting things with Facebook and with WordPress. So one thing that you could do, and I'm not saying you should do this, but if it works for your audience, you could definitely use Facebook as a commenting platform for your website.
Yep.
Now, you could also use it as a secondary commenting platform for your website. So you could just have them stacked on top of each other if you like. Some of the Facebook plugins that are out there will do that for you. So it'll just kind of let you have both places so that way people will be able to comment. I think the idea is that you don't really care about if somebody who's posting on Facebook will only be able to interact with the people that are posted on Facebook. And the people that are posted on the website would have no clue that the people on Facebook are talking about the stuff. So it's like they're two separate worlds, but at least you're making it so people will show up to the site and leave comments, which is great. There are some plugins out there that will aggregate, or rather ingest the content from those comments from Facebook and have them be as comments in on your WordPress site. So make sure that the people that are leaving comments know that that will be happening. Some people assume that Facebook is this walled garden and no one can get in and out of it. And so they say, oh, I posted on Facebook. Why is it showing up on the internet? It's like, okay, this isn't AOL, okay? This isn't like AOL. So you have those types of things to worry about as well. So make sure of those. The other thing is with Facebook is if you're doing any type of live events, you can actually record your live events using Facebook Live, and then you can embed those videos onto your website.
Yes, you can.
And they're oEmbed. So you can just take that video and just drop it right on there and say, how about it? And Facebook knows what to do with it, or rather your website knows what to do with it, and it'll display it. So that's pretty neat. You can also embed public Facebook posts. So if you want to do that, you can definitely do those things. Paul's asking in the chat, how does the embed work? So as long as you have a space above and below the embed, that's the way that you would kind of manage that and make sure that it's that it'll be displayed. You can test that. You can test that by going into the visual composing part of WordPress and making sure that it actually displays it. If it doesn't display it, it very well could be that your site is set up so that like that particular plugin or whatever just doesn't support that type of embed. So you'll want to look
or
into
there's
that.
some code around it on accident. So just highlight it and press the eraser in the kitchen sink.
Yep.
Remove the formatting, or go to the text to make sure there's no P tags or H1 tags around the link.
Right.
But if all else fails, you can go to ifriendly.com
Mm-hmm.
and get the embed code from that too.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that's like the major things of getting Facebook's content on your website. Posting to Facebook from your website, there's a zillion different ways to do it. If you're a Jetpack person, Jetpack has it built in. It's it's called Publicize. That's it. Yeah, you can definitely use Publicize to do that. I use something called Snap, the social network auto poster. It has the word auto in it, so Bridget's probably never looked at it before, but it's
no. And here's the thing though. There's a lot of people that post it and it just automatically posts the first 200 words, and then it will say 400 million words left.
That's the one from Jetpack does that.
I don't like
that either. Because for one, you're giving up some of the first couple sentences of your content.
No reason to click.
Right? They're gonna be like, oh, he doesn't even know how to spell words correctly, man.
Incentivize the click. That's all I'm saying. You can. I think that if you, I think you can customize what shows up there.
Yeah, with Snap, you can actually customize. You can customize the size of the image as well. So you could have a big image with text next to it, or a small image with text next to it, or there's all these different ways of kind of mix and matching that. But it's neat because you can just turn that on and be able to set it the way that you want it to be set.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good way to just, I mean, there's no penalty anymore for, there used to be a penalty for third-party posting or anything like that. There's no penalty. I would just try to optimize how it is displayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really don't, the point is you want them to click. So don't give up too much.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think that's about it for that. I mean, there's plenty of plugins out there that do this stuff. Most of them require you to make an app in that particular social network. So both Twitter and Facebook require you to go into the developer tools, and then within there, go and create what they call an app, which gives you an API key, an API secret, and da-da-da-da-da. Get all that stuff, put it into the site, hit the go button, and then things start working. So Twitter and Facebook definitely require you to do those sorts of things. And I would stay clear of any service that wants you to use their service to log in on your behalf. So if there's like a company that makes a plugin and the plugin says, oh, make sure you give us your username and password and we'll be more than happy to go and log in and do all the really hard things for you. The second that company goes out of business, that doesn't work anymore. You know, and then if that company gets hacked, well, now they have all the usernames and potentially all the passwords, depending on how they stored the passwords. So,
but Jason,
don't do that.
We didn't talk about Facebook pages.
Oh yeah, Facebook pages.
Sometimes Facebook pages have reviews.
Yeah.
And I happen to know of a plugin where those reviews can be displayed on your WordPress website.
What?
So I kind of have to mention that.
Oh my gosh.
And you can see that on bridgetwillard.com/blog.
Folks,
you want to know what it looks like.
Folks, I just want you to know that Bridget is paid to talk about all of these things. And if she talks about these things and how great they are, they're probably really great, but they're probably from WordPress. So
it's from WordPress.
So make sure if you use the Facebook Reviews Pro or if you use the Yelp Reviews one, make sure you say hi to Devin, because Devin Walker's the one that programmed those, and he did a really great job with them.
Yep. But the thing is, Facebook only lets local businesses have reviews, which sort of sucks for our industry. So like for me to even test it, I had to change my Facebook page type from blogger to local business.
Huh.
So that's the caveat.
Your page is a local business?
It is now, because otherwise I can't get or display reviews.
Oh my gosh.
It's so lame. I mean, Facebook, everybody can be reviewed, not just brick and mortars. Such prejudice.
So I want to play this game too. So if you are a company that has a presence on Yelp and you want to have this stuff show up on your site, you can actually set up a Yelp widget using Yelp Widgets Pro to go and display this stuff onto the site.
Is Yelp considered social media? I guess it
totally
is. I
is.
never think of it that way.
Because there's commenting. You could go and say, that tattoo that I got from that tattoo parlor was awful. And then that tattoo parlor would have the Yelp Widgets Pro installed on his website, and it would say, the tattoo I got is, sucks, and it would show it on there.
But people seem to be pretty good about reviewing on Facebook, surprisingly enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are pretty free about reviewing, and not just like the 3-star Yelper who's never happy with anything. Their whole life is just this misery where it doesn't matter. You could give them $100 million and they're mad that it's all in $100 bills. Like, where's my tens, yo?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying so Paul's asking how he gets a landscaping company or a wedding planner listed on Yelp. You go to Yelp and you sign up for a profile.
Yep.
Anybody can create their profile. And if you do have a services-oriented business, you do want to be participating in that. I'll go find.
And then if you have $37 or $57, you can either buy 1 copy of the license or 5 copies of the license of that Yelp Widget Pro plugin and stick it on all those sites and make them all show up.
Yeah, we're not getting affiliate fees or anything. But I can't not tell you.
I know.
It's like the coolest plugin they actually, besides Give, that's like the coolest plugin because people get reviews. They actually get them. And then if you get it from somewhere, you don't want to like have to beg somewhere else,
Right. So one of the questions in the chat James is asking is regarding doing kind of local SEO type stuff. Yoast actually has this really great plugin called Local SEO for WordPress plugin. And we actually use it at the church that I work at. The church has 2 different physical locations. They're catty corner to each other, but 2 physical locations. And you can use this to kind of help you out with putting in the correct metadata within within your website, and also be able to make it so it's easy for people to be able to find the locations, find the hours, and do all that fun stuff. So that would be a great plugin to take a look at as well.
Yep.
And that's $69 for one website.
I saw somebody tweet it, and I was telling you earlier when we were conspiring.
Yeah.
Because Medium, I guess, is sort of a social media place. It's like a weird mix between a blog. It's like Facebook's here and a blog is here and Medium's in between. And they really have this neat feature that I use a lot where you highlight text and then you just click tweet and it tweets it out with a little excerpt. It makes an image. That, I think it was Sean Funder from GoDaddy. I couldn't find his tweet, but I'm pretty sure it was him who said somebody needs to make this a WordPress plugin. And that, my friends, would be amazing. Because instead of click to tweet, I could highlight whatever I want and then tweet that off your blog. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I remember there being...
Oh, there is one? I want it.
Yeah, I remember Chris Limba featured it a while back.
Oh, it'd be so cool. Because, Matt and I go back and forth about click to tweet. We think it's too pushy.
Right.
But if you had something like that where they could highlight the sentence that resonated with them.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. So I do like Medium for that. I mean, LinkedIn, here's another social media platform that gets no love.
LinkedIn?
But it's still around.
Yeah.
And, if you're in the services industry, that's where people go to look. Somebody asked me this week, I'm looking for a database administrator. I go search on LinkedIn. If I was looking for somebody and I wasn't sure about my contacts, I would still search on LinkedIn. So SlideShare is owned by LinkedIn. And if you're speaking at WordCamp, so definitely upload your slides. And the good thing about SlideShare is, and you learned from Jason Tucker, it's supported by oEmbed.
Yeah. Over at WPbeginner.com, they did a thing about how to use SlideShare using oEmbed. So feel free to go take a look at that.
Yep.
I think at the time of the writing, it had some stuff about how SlideShare goes about doing things with its embed links. But anyhow, take a look at that because it was a good post from a couple years back.
Yeah, it's really helpful. I like SlideShare. But with SlideShare, you upload the PDF version of your slides. Just
yeah. Don't take
the
Keynote and try to upload the Keynote.
It doesn't work.
You have to export it.
It has to be a PDF.
Yeah. And also, the other thing about that is if the text that's in your slides is actual text, so highlightable text within the PDF, it'll actually take the content out of that and have it displayed on the site. So it makes it nice and easier for people to do like searches to be able to find that content. So I've seen sites where people click on my SlideShare from a talk that I did and go back to my website, and it's like, oh wow, they actually started using it.
Thanks, James. I'm totally gonna do this.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
I'm tweeting it out so I don't forget, and I favorited it so I don't forget.
Yeah, highlight and share. None of my words are highlight and shareable, so I'm not going to install this on my website.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, that's kind of neat. You can just highlight the text, and then a little box will pop up, and you can tweet or share it. I think that's cool.
And I need a plug-in to review for August, so this might be my new friend. Favorite. Thanks, James. Mr. Wapoo himself.
You get the kudos. Very nice.
Oh my gosh.
So let's see here. What else was there regarding that stuff? So you mentioned
Google Plus, you guys.
That's still a thing?
Wait, I'm going to tell you. Okay, everybody Google what is WordCamp.
Okay.
My blog post is on the first page. It's on the first page in incognito mode.
Let's see.
Why? Google Plus. I'm telling you, Google Plus, my friend Pam from Pam and Marketing says the #1 SEO shortcut. Until they get rid of it, I would be sharing. In fact, if there was one thing that you could auto share and set it, forget it, Google Plus is your thing. Because I participate on Google Plus because I'm insane. But I would say if there was any network where you could just post and go and totally get away with it, it's that.
Okay, I have to admit that I use Google Plus every single week on Mondays for WPwatercooler.
Yeah.
And that's the only time in which I can blast out 150, 175, 300 emails to a whole bunch of people that says, I'm doing a thing, you should come watch it, it's amazing. And then people show up and watch the video because the link goes out saying, Jason's doing this thing, here's all the people that I am doing, all the people that are on the show, go check it out, and then they get notified about it.
Why is it still a thing? Because SEO. That's why it's still a thing.
Totally true.
I'm just saying, why is my blog post on the #1 page? It doesn't make any sense. I'm not WP Beginner. I'm not Syed. I'm not, WordCamp Central. It's just little old BridgetWillard.com. Google Plus is the only differentiating factor. You know what else we didn't talk about? It's my redheaded stepchild social network, Pinterest.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say like MySpace or something.
No, that's the one I would say. Is that still a thing?
Or if you're a developer, I would have said something like app.net.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So Pinterest is good for visual content. And you can have secret boards that you only share with your clients, for example, which might be good for collaboration with content decks and designs. But really, it's
and if you're using Pinterest, follow both Bridget and I, because we post stuff all the time on Pinterest about the stuff that we talk about here on the show.
I do have a WordPress board. I have a couple WordCamp boards. I think Pinterest is good for the map things, like a board with a map. So if you're an organizer for WordCamp and there's places that you could do, you can make a board for that WordCamp, and then you can include, like, this is where the after party is with the map pin, and this is where the best coffee is with the map pin. It's a really good resource for that. So that's what I did. And you can share the board with people. Like, I'm just trying to think what applies to WordPress, right? So I made one for, and then a WordPress board, of course, this. A lot of people share their blog posts. I'm part of a big group board called Blogs. So every once in a while, if it's like a really good post I love, then but see, here's the thing. With Pinterest is like Snapchat and Periscope. It likes long, skinny.
Yeah, okay. Which is difficult to pull off.
It's really difficult to pull off. So you make this featured image for every other social network on this planet, but then you got to make a long, skinny one. So
they're like, you carry the phone like this, so you want to see all the stuff like this. And you're like, I guess. Come on, it's not Snapchat. You don't have to do it wrong.
Like, I started with my favorite, and that's why I call Pinterest my redheaded stepchild. But they do have a search that rivals Google. When I went because I changed my hair a lot. Like, just go look at any of my videos. You'll see colors, shapes, sizes. But when I wanted to do half moon bangs, I didn't know I wanted half moon bangs. I just went best bangs for round face.
Huh.
Pinterest was the place to be. So you forget that Pinterest is a good search engine. If you have an e-commerce store, now Pinterest is super interesting to you, because if people pin, and you optimize your e-commerce store for Pinterest, when people pin from your website, they can purchase it from Pinterest. And if the price drops, if I pin something and the price drops, Pinterest will email me. So I'm saying, like, how could Pinterest be relevant to our demographic? People who build e-commerce sites.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the episode, not to cut you off, but do you remember the episode that we started? It must have been like the second or third episode of this show. And we had a guy who hopped on who was like, okay, I've been watching this video, and it was about a thing, and it just came out yesterday, and how do I do it? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, Pinterest. It's a Pinterest thing for being able to sell stuff on your website through Pinterest. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Do you remember when do you remember this?
I don't remember that.
This guy was like gung ho. I need to be able to make this thing work, to be able to sell the thing, to do the whatnot. And sure enough, there's actually a Pinterest button for WooCommerce that's out there that they came up with to be able to tie WooCommerce in with Pinterest. So that stuff's out there. That came out April 12, 2016, that blog post is, and it talks about how you can actually share that thing onto Pinterest. It's pretty neat. There was some other thing regarding that.
Map board. I'm looking at this map because Paul was like, yeah, I want to do that. And I don't see my map. Did they get rid of the map? The map ability? Now that I just said that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lame Pinterest. Lame. That's true. Rawr.
So another thing within Pinterest is having the ability to do article-rich pins. So it actually takes the excerpt from your post and puts it into the pin in Pinterest.
Yeah.
So there's a site over at pinplugins.com. There's probably some other ones out there too, but that will do this exact same thing. So it'll pretty much do what you do with Facebook with the with being able to have all of those social share type things with Facebook, have that be displayed. So if you look at it, there's like a picture of a cute baby's feet, and then down below it, it shows the actual post with all the information about it. So you can do that as well. So that's interesting and something you should look at.
And that brings up a valid point, which is not only for accessibility, but for Pinterest, you should fill out your alt and description tags on your images.
Definitely.
With sentences. Because that is how Pinterest search works. And actually Google. So you really want to fill those out. I mean, why are we spending an hour and a half, an hour talking about social media? Because you spent, like, let's just take the last article I spent a month writing, which is the 2,800 word post on why WordPress needs mentorship in order to scale. So I write this thing. I spent a month thinking about it, writing about it, researching, talking to people. So what? So I publish it. So what? If you don't have friends, if you don't have social infrastructure, if you don't have people that want to read it, like, you know, so what happens is you don't have the distribution. We're not the New York Times. So because we're not the New York Times, we rely on social media. So it's great that we have WordPress. We love WordPress. It's democratizing publishing, but it's not distributing for us. We have to make our own social infrastructure for that to happen. So to get to the first circle, of course, you're going to expect your very close friends to share it. But when you get that second circle of friends, and then the third, that's when you're really getting the reach and engagement that you want in your blog. You know, and then don't forget that being social also means, like what I was talking about with John Locke and I are trying to challenge each other to do again, which is commenting on other people's blogs. Even if they're no follow links, there's still links that help authority, and there's still a way to engage that person, you know? So whether you want to do it for SEO or whether you want to do it to be a better human being, you know, whichever route you take, I'm not saying one is better than the other. They're equally the same, whatever. I mean, that's a way of being social on media. I mean, that's see, we forget, like, the plugins all deal with the media, but the social is up to you, and nobody can do that for you. You can only automate to one point. The rest of it has to be you caring about that person, spending time saying, congratulations on adopting that baby. Oh, nice site redesign. Ooh, I really like that episode of WPwatercooler. Or, oh my gosh, how do you deal with that humidity? I love your dog. What a cute pic. I mean, that's just because that's what you would say to a human being, right? If somebody sat there and told you something about their lives, would you just sit there like this?
No.
Because you would be weird, and ostracized, and never invited to lunch again.
It's because I haven't figured out how to automate conversation yet. I'm working on it. It's almost there. IFTTT has not made it happen yet, but it will happen pretty soon.
Can I just say, as far as posting things from Instagram to Facebook or Twitter, especially if you IFTT from Instagram to Twitter, be very aware of the character count. I've seen some things get cut off at comedic levels, okay? And I will just leave it at that. And, you know, people would be shamed and fired because it was wildly inappropriate. So the thing is, here's the other thing about social media. It gets all of the small talk out of the way. Okay, I will never forget. I arranged a lunch with my former boss, with this lead, with a real estate broker. And I said, man, you guys are just so much alike. I feel like you would really like each other. How about if we go to lunch? It was just the craziest thing because I never do that. And so my boss agreed, and we set it up. And then we sat down. And it was like we're old friends. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't weird. And then why was it like that? Because we were. Because I was already friends with Alan. And so it's very easy for me to go, hey, Tom, you know, Alan went to blah, 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 blah. And he goes, oh, yeah. Just like when you introduce people that you know. Oh, yeah, Jason,
Right.
you'll like this person because he also is a full stack, blah, 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 something, whatever. And then you guys start talking and my work is done, right? So you can provide value at brokering and matching people. So even if you can't, like they discussed this at the business track in Orange County, even if you don't want to do work that came to you, you referring it to somebody you know is also providing value.
Yeah. I agree, Paul. I totally agree. So Paul in the chat room is talking about if you're going to be taking a 5-hour plane ride, make sure you don't post something crazy or weird or whatever right before you hop on the plane, because you may not have in-air Wi-Fi, and yeah, some craziness happens. I remember the story and about that, but I remember this lady went up in the airplane, and when she got back down, her whole world did pretty much implode. It was pretty crazy. I don't remember the exact what happened in that one, but yeah. But if you look for social media airplane in 5 hours, you'll find that particular posting.
Okay, now I'm intrigued.
So one of the social media sites that I don't know if you would agree with me, Bridget, that it is social media, but GitHub is definitely a social media site for developers.
There's media and you're being social. You're apt to ask politely for a pull request, right?
Yep, that's true.
It's just private, but it's still a way to interact. So I would say yes. I would agree with you.
Yeah. So with GitHub, you can actually take GitHub has this feature called gists, GIST, and a gist is kind of like a quick little short little description of something, a little snippet of code or a little bit of whatever. Well, you can actually take little snippets of code and embed those on your website, just like you would with video or audio or any of that sort of stuff. So if you wanted to share a like a specific thing, like for instance, I did a gist on how to do a short code for creating a donor list using Give, for instance. You can go and put this in your site as a blog post, as the content within the blog post, and it'll actually display that content with the embed code and everything, which is super awesome to be able to pull something like that off.
It is super awesome. It looks really good too. Matt does that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice because when you're doing those for your site, if you're using, let's say you're using GitHub as the way, or rather gists as the way to do that, now you're contributing to gist, so people can do quick searches for it to try to find the things that you solved using one of those quick little gists. That's why gist exists, is to be able to share small little snippets of code, not like an entire program, or like it's like you're gonna take all of WordPress and throw it in gist and be like, here you go, here's WordPress.
So just the gist of it.
Just the
Get
gist
to the gist of the problem.
Exactly.
How is that fun?
Yep.
So I'm gonna defer Reddit to you.
Oh, okay.
I don't Reddit.
As a social network?
It definitely is. In fact, a lot of the jokes originate there. I'm just not doing it. So tell our people.
So posting to Reddit is an interesting thing. Reddit has what is known as subreddits, which are the thing after the /r. And the subreddit is for a very specific topic that you're discussing. If you've ever looked over at reddit.com/r/WordPress, there's actually an entire thriving WordPress community that's over there with people that you recognize that are using WordPress in there. So that would definitely be a cool place to go check out and interact with and stuff. If you, let's say, for instance, if we wanted to have a subreddit just set up for this particular show, using that Snap plugin, the social networking, blah, 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 if you use that thing to do auto posting to Reddit, you could actually have it auto posted straight to that subreddit that you run. So if you are someone who runs a subreddit on Reddit, you could definitely do that.
Yeah.
That's all I got. There's not much else you can really do with it. I mean, I've never embedded a Reddit post on my site. I don't even know if the oEmbeds work for that.
Yeah, but,
I'd have to look and see.
What about like that whole like help me fix this photo internet thing? Isn't that on Reddit?
That's on Reddit, yeah.
Like I'm just saying, a lot happens there. Like if you're
Oh yeah, there's plenty of stuff that happens there. But yeah, I guess for instance, to keep it in like the WordPress space, there's a bunch of WordPress subreddits that are in there. Over on the right hand side within that, it kind of shows you some of the rules and stuff, as well as like some of the other subreddits that are there for like WordPress _ themes or WordPress plugins or coding help and all sorts of other fun stuff. So yeah, that would definitely be a place to go check out stuff about WordPress, as well as being able to interact with other people.
Oh, for sure. And also Reddit and Quora and WordPress Facebook group. Those are all places where people are asking questions. Don't know what to blog about? Go find out what people are asking questions about, and then write about it on your blog.
Yeah.
I don't have access to our Help Scout account, but if I did, and I was a support person, like if you're always super busy doing support, but I know our guys are starting to do this. Wherever you see your customers and their pain points are, that is a place to start for content. So a lot of times people don't blog because they don't know what to say. So go find out where the people are asking the questions. If you know the answer, make it a blog post. If you don't like my 5 plugins for bloggers, write your own and say, Bridget wrote this on WordPress, but she's totally off, and here's why. I won't be offended. That's awesome. Like, we need the diversity of opinions, and I think that we forget that content is what fuels the need for a website in the first place. I mean, love my developers, but the truth is a website exists for content, not the other way around. So
I agree.
So sometimes when you're stuck, just go there. Go to Quora, go to Reddit, go to Advanced WordPress group, and you can find ways to things that will like spur you on. Because a lot of times people they'll say to me, and I've said it to other people, I don't know, I'm out of ideas. Like even on the show, I'm like, I don't know. I think we've talked about everything. Let's start a brain dump. So we just started I just need to go back and start cataloging. So I'm like, we don't want to keep repeating ourselves either, but at the same time, we want to provide value. And of course, as Mario's bringing up, Blab is social and it's media. So social media is media where humans are interacting. So I would say if Tumblr has commenting, it's social media. Any part of media where humans are interacting with it is social media.
Yeah, I'd even go so far as to say if you have a way of whatevering the thing on that network, even if you can't leave a comment, you're still interacting with other people.
Definitely.
So if you're reblogging or reposting or retweeting or re-reading, it's definitely a social network because you're interacting with other people.
Yeah, and YouTube, I mean, YouTube's a great place to comment.
I hear it's an up-and-coming thing. It's something that we may think about using it in WPwatercooler's family of shows at some point here.
I mean, you just forget about that. Like, I watch Gary Vaynerchuk's Ask Gary Vee show all the time. He always leave me a comment. The only thing that he does is read comments. He reads every single comment. So, he's a busy guy, and I wouldn't expect him to tweet to me. But the fact that he's going to read those comments is it's like pulling teeth sometimes getting comments on blogs and YouTube. It's really hard to get anybody to react.
It is really hard.
Like, you just want to be provocative just so people are pissed and they'll say something. You're like, okay, what can I do to get a reaction out of you people, you know? But for sure, YouTube is definitely Periscope. I'm not sure what's happening now that because I haven't done it in a while. I did a couple weeks ago, but I don't know where that video went. I know that it exists. You can save it to your camera roll. People are watching it live. But to me, if I'm going to do something live, I want it to be saved. So I am more apt to use Facebook Live than Periscope. But then some people don't use Facebook. So if you're a person that doesn't have a Facebook account, you're going to Periscope.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not either, because I don't want to work. This is the objection I had to Snapchat. I want to work hard to do something that's going to be gone.
Right.
It just doesn't make any
That's
sense
why you
to
don't
me.
work hard. That's why you do what I do on Snapchat, and you take your dogs out for a walk, and you record them peeing, and then you post it on the Snapchat.
What's going to end first? The dog peeing or the snap?
Oh man. Yep.
You
know, Bridget, this is the first time where maybe it's the second time that we've done a show where we posed a question, how do you use social media, for your website, but we didn't have a single person hop in at all during the entire show.
Well, it's baby steps. We got some people that just are.
But I think it's interesting because, the topic itself was about social media. We were very social in the chat room. There's tons of social stuff that was going on there. But just the idea that it was a social media thing that wasn't social media-ized.
Well, I mean, I like interacting. Well, I understand. Some people are worried about video. They're not comfortable with it. I am over it. This is just what's happening. I'm probably going to grow this mess out, which is going to be, you guys will watch the evolution of my pixie, and all of it's horrible, teenager-esque
I'm not letting this guy in. Are you kidding me?
Let in James. He found the best plugin ever. I'm going to be in love.
Okay, I guess so. I asked for it. No, only James's 56K modem will give him enough bandwidth to connect. Let's see.
Blab is kind of a bandwidth hog. It likes it better if you're high.
Crank.
Hi, James. Thanks for hopping in.
No problem.
Hey, James. How's it going?
I had a man bun, so I wasn't going to show my face. But
okay. We love all people.
Even ones with man buns.
Hey, but since Jason asked for someone to join, or he was taunting, I figured I should show him.
He's a little provocative. What's your favorite?
Have you?
Go ahead.
No, please.
What's your favorite social network? I mean, you have
different things for different reasons. Like Twitter for real connections. Facebook is nice to help people, but it's also fun to troll people. Like, do you know how to use Yoast? Yes, I do. And then I'll just won't answer the question. So it really depends. But
do you post code snippets onto Instagram?
No.
When you do, make sure that you kind of do it at a little bit of an angle just so it looks interesting.
Yeah, I use Instagram for my work in progress stuff, sort of like Dribble.
Yeah.
So it's like, here's sketches, or here's this wall we're building out this weekend. So it's a little bit of a personal behind the scenes.
Yeah. So is your Instagram a private Instagram or is it a public Instagram?
Oh, I figure anything on the internet should just be public. Like I don't have, it's open. So I could hide it, but you're everywhere. So.
Right. My problem is the second I post something on the Instagram, it shows up onto Twitter and pushes itself over to Facebook. So, it is what it is. It just means I have to delete it from 3 different places when I accidentally take a butt selfie or something.
Yeah, that's the typos that get me all the time. So I'll go in and it'll automatically post to network. So I'm like, oh crap. So I'll delete it from Twitter, adjust it on Facebook. But one thing that you guys have said tonight, and one thing that we have started to do more is revisit old content because it goes by so fast, but a lot of people don't see it. So using something like Buffer, like you guys have said, it actually brings in a lot of engagement, and reposting that even to Facebook. We've noticed that a lot of people will start reliking those, or when people see it, it's like a chain reaction. So it's I've always been a little nervous to reshare those things because I feel like, oh, it's old, or that's old, but it's been very useful lately.
No, and that's a good point, because if you're growing your audience, they may have never seen it in the first place. I totally forgot about that. And you brought up something else, James, that I forgot to mention, which is Facebook is sticky. This is the advantage of Facebook. So I could go post, I could go comment on a picture of my dogs from 2010, and it's going to get a revival.
Especially when you go, oh, my dogs were so cute when they were little, and then you say, I'm going to share that again because, you know, so on this day, here's the thing that happened, and it's usually a photo. So that's kind of cool. You know, I was thinking about for WPwatercooler doing a like a throwback Thursday of an old post, just as a way of kind of bringing back some of that old content. What do you guys think of something like that? And is that something that someone should do for old blog posts to make it so that it's kind of showing some of the old stuff that you've done? You know, I see other people do this, and I'm just curious if it's something that should be done. And how do you tell people, like, hey, this is an old post. I'm going to be talking about MySpace on this post, or I'm going to be talking about, you know, back when such and such happened, or, you know, something like that. How do you deal with that? Because I don't want to make it sound like I'm, you know, posting something old of one of my personal blog posts, like, oh, my wife Jen and I got married today. You know, it's like, okay, how long ago was that? Jeez.
But you could always do a reaction video, or how things change, or almost like a Mystery Science Theater where you guys are like commenting on your commenting.
Oh, that would be epic.
Oh my gosh, maybe we should do that for the 200th episode. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, you could even have users submit their favorite clips, and then you guys could like comment on those.
Yeah, we tried that on the 100th. It didn't work. It's actually why the blog posting gets shared all the time on that.
That's funny.
Is we're crowdsourcing all of our 100th episode blog posts. Come check it out.
Well, you can say from the archives, here's the throwback, or for throwback
from the archives.
That's what I say, is from the archives. In fact, I started putting that in my revival post at the end, archives. But
and revival post is smart enough to know to throw that at the end of it and just truncate the text.
It will ask you. You can put it at the front or the back.
I might have to throw down some money to get it then.
I know, because custom post types. Sorry.
Because of the custom post.
Do you have any good advice for us? Because I'm sure we left some stuff out, James. I know you're pretty social.
No, I don't want to plug any of my friends too much, but the stuff has gone huge. Like, I helped my brother-in-law do a pipe, like a Italian tobacco pipe website, and from their YouTube audience, they grew that product line pretty much overnight. Like, I spent a weekend giving them a website in Genesis and Woo, just throwing it together really fast, and they pretty much made, I think it was the first week they made over $10,000. In the first year, they've made a tremendous amount just from YouTube and Instagram. And they even use the Periscope, but they do, it's kind of like smoking time. So everyone gets home, they have their drink and pull up the pipes, and everyone just kind of check in from the day. So I think that those two social media networks single-handedly helped their business. It has nothing to do with the premium WordPress theme that I bought them.
Right.
Well, feel free to throw them in the chat, because I love content like that and love seeing how people are doing this stuff. So if you're if you're cool with it,
I can throw it in. It's just, I wasn't looking for free publicity, but for what they've done with their social media, it's just crazy.
Well,
we love it.
You were saying that you think Periscope's like a radio show, and then that would make more sense for a tobacco-oriented situation, because smoking is a social activity.
Yeah.
So
Let me see if I can.
No, and anytime you're using the product, even if you're very passively using the product during the promotion of the product, it just makes it even better, because it's just like, wow, look, I just came home, I want to hang out. Look, I'm doing this. It's like that kind of thing, whatever it is.
My Media Temple shirt that I got from WordCamp.
Yeah, I got a Woo one right now.
Yeah, there you go. We're all about the swag, but we love those examples because that gives us all ideas. That's what's so great about it. Yeah.
I mean, they're really rough around the edges, but that's their scene. They're kind of bringing like blue collars to the white collar world. You know, like they're bikers and welders. They're not yacht club owners.
Yeah.
Nice.
So by doing their YouTube stuff, or then a lot of times what they'll do, because Periscope doesn't, they'll record one camera while using their phone on Periscope. So it's recording both.
Okay.
But it's not quite like, they still have to upload the video afterwards.
Yeah, that's what Gary Vaynerchuk does with the show. It's exactly what he does. He has a person filming it with a legit camera, and then somebody's periscoping.
I love this. This is so cool.
Very
I'm looking at their content. Very, very cool. Just like, it's almost like let's do a little bit of a review of this thing that we just built, or hey, I'm going to modify this thing that I just got, or here's how I modify my corn cob pipe. I mean, how cool is that? I love that.
It's very cool. It's like craft beer version of tobacco pipes.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, then I forget which one they're doing now, but they've got a whole little scene. So one of the other guys who does the pipes will do a quick YouTube video and said, "Oh, tonight I'm getting ready to make some." So while he's making them, he'll Periscope himself making them. Then he'll post it back on Instagram, and then say, "Oh, here it is. If anyone wants it, grab it from the link," and then he'll send them a PayPal link. So they're doing all this without even a website, their own actual.
Wow.
He's a nurse by day, so he comes home, makes 2 or 3 corncob pipes, sells them, about $40 a piece, and he's made an extra $100 in profit that night from just playing on social media, hanging out with his friends. So
that's awesome.
I mean, you could probably do the same thing with any other craft. It doesn't have to be, that.
That's a perfect example. I mean, my mom has her Etsy store, and I would try to get her on WordPress, but then who would have to do it? And I'm not a web developer, but she left Etsy and went to something else, Zazzle or Zizzle or Etsy or Zibbit.
I don't know.
There was some payment gateway issue with Etsy. She's like, "I'm out of here." Like, and I went, "Oh man, you really just need like a gravity form Stripe thing. I know that's what all my developers say, but I don't want to do this."
Just slap some WooCommerce on it and call it a day.
If you're not watching this, I know we have the one quick checkout plugin. I just can't. I can't bring myself to even try to build a website. I did 3. I'm done forever.
But just remember, you're not the one that's doing the Help Scout, so it's okay.
I know, right? No, it's because it'd be on iMessage. It'd be on iMessage.
Bridget's mom is calling again. Oh, great.
No, but I mean, I was like, man, you're paying all those fees. You could just have your own WordPress website. And I just went.
I don't say anything. I swear, I'm done. No.
Yeah, my father-in-law decided he wanted to set up a new Apple ID for his iPad versus his iPhone, so I just sat in the corner and didn't say anything. I could have helped, but it was like the 3rd time, so like I don't know. Let you guys do
maybe in 2017 I'll make her a website because I won't be able to resist myself anymore. Because so we make Give, and all day long I'm looking at my list. Remember I told you about the Twitter list of WordPress people? I can't even tell you how many WordPress people are sending out GoFundMe pages. Like, come on, you guys. Why are you giving all your money to GoFundMe? Set up a WordPress website with the free version of Give. Like, we love you too much to let you do this. But I just sit there and go, I can't say anything. But I read it. And then I try to think, why are our people using GoFundMe? Because they don't want to build somebody a website. Because I don't want to build one for my mom. That's why.
Can you make give work on WordPress.com? Because then we could just totally make this happen.
Hey, I was chatting them up when I saw them at the Wonder Woman Tech Conference. I'm like,
oh, you did?
I did. Well, they have the HTTPS. They have Woo.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they're finished with whatever negotiations they're in with PayPal or Stripe, it's going to be ready, and it'll be an upgrade, and .com people will be able to compete with Etsy. And my mom could just be on WordPress.com. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. That's my prediction. The new person to WordPress is predicting WordPress trends. I'm just saying, like, this is what I'm thinking is happening. I got my little evil marketer, James Bond. I just need a cat and a gold ring.
Yeah. Well, Bridget, it is 10 past. We started 10 minutes late.
But we got to have James on. Come again.
We totally had James on.
Thank you. I heard the invite. I had to.
Yeah.
James, since you came on the show, tell us where people can find you.
Well, if I'm going to have to plug one thing, I would probably plug Wapoo's at this point. And it's WAPU.us. I'm trying to make a hub for all things Wapoo. As we've been talking tonight about social media, things flying by so fast. I mean, there's so many Wapoos out there. Then every event has their own. So I'm trying to just build an archive. Like we have an archive, but not everyone uses it. Not everyone submits it through Get. So we're not looking to take credit. We're not looking to make money. We're just looking to have an archive for everyone's Wapoos for the entire community.
Is this?
So we're working on that.
Awesome.
Ideally, if we get enough sponsors, we would like to get Wapoo pins for every WordCamp and every camp that's there. So that's in the works. There's 17 pins in rotation right now. They're all here. I'll actually show you. They're pretty awesome.
Oh, I saw that.
Cool.
I saw that on Instagram.
So you can find me on Twitter at James Tryon, or you can find us at Wapoo, or our agency is Easily Amused. We've technically been with Valet the past 3 years, so a lot of people might know us through Valet. But we've been around the WordPress since 2007. We've been helping with WordCamp Orlando since 2009.
Nice.
Kind of just been quiet in the background. And we've been one of those agencies that's been doing work for other agencies for years. So we're trying to, not be so lazy, I guess.
So James, for the folks that have no idea what a Wapoo is, they're scared to click the link. They know that there is an R2 Wapoo. What is a Wapoo and why is it cool?
A Wapoo is the straight answer, it's becoming the mascot for WordPress. In 2009, Matt Mullenweg asked the Japanese community, what do we need to do to help this Japanese audience embrace WordPress better? And they suggested a mascot. And I'm going to butcher her name horribly if I try to pronounce it. But a lady, a very talented illustrator, worked on it off and on for about a year or so, and then it was released in February 2011. So since then, a lot of the WordPress community have started embracing the Wapoo character, and by embracing, it's almost like the Wapoo embraces the ball or the WordPress logo, or it can be other brands. And since Wapoo is GPL, anyone can do anything they would like with it. And it's just part of the WordPress community. So it's really just our open source mascot for the WordPress community. And it's nice because someone who's not techie, someone who goes to an event and is a bit overwhelmed, you have a fun little sticker, something or swag that's not so much overwhelming code.
Yeah.
So it's just
that's awesome. I just wanted to really hurt Jonathan's head by making you talk about Wapoo on the show. So much so, I may even do a WPwatercooler all about Wapoos just to really get Jonathan's goat.
Nice. Well, there's way more people involved in the community than me. I'm going to butcher everyone's last name, but Michelle Schulp, Nick Holmesy, those two have done a tremendous amount. I'm just sort of been trying to help organize and find a home for all these things.
Curate it.
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot too. I've done several myself, but by no means am I trying to take credit. I'm just trying to give it a home.
Yeah, I was trying to get my guys to put the Give logo inside of it.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
That would be a cool sticker.
It definitely would.
Swag.
Thanks for having me this evening, everyone.
We're really
Yeah,
happy
no
to
problem at
have
all,
you.
James. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. What a fun show. That's a good way to
that
end
was
it on
awesome.
the cute wapoos.
Awesome. Well, folks, go over to our website at WPwatercooler.com/WPblab, and you can go take a look at all the fun stuff that's going over there. You can look at all of the previous episodes that we have recorded, as well as all of our social media links to all the things that we talk about this show. You can go over to Bridget's website over at BridgetWillard.com. She works over at WordPress, so you go to WordPress.com to go check a look at that. They make the most robust plugin called Give. Feel free to go take a look at that. If you're trying to collect money about something, it would be amazing to use Give and not something else.
We should put one on the Wapoo page to donate for the tip jar. I'm just saying, that's a crap load of work, but
totally. If you want to go to my website, you can go to www.jasontucker.us because I still haven't figured out how to get DNS to work. Who would have thought? Jason Tucker and DNS, huh? But go over to jasontucker.us and go take a look at that. I'd appreciate that. And we do all the things over on Mondays over at WPwatercooler.com. Take a look at that as well. Folks, you have a good rest of your day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
bye.
Hi.